Okay, hello everyone, and welcome, my friends and my fellow gamers. How are you today? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my first of two gameplay streams for today. Today is Wednesday, July 4th, 2018, and happy Independence Day to those of you who are Americans. I guess I should clarify that, people from the USA, because, there is North America and South America, and I guess technically you could say that you are, American if you're from South America, and that wouldn't really make much sense. Also, you could say you're, Canadian, I guess, and still be in North America. So what I will clarify is, for residents of the United States of America like myself, happy Independence Day. Today, traditionally, in the United States, is a day where, number one, there's no school. But, of course, it's the summer anyway, so there shouldn't be school. But some people do have school during the summer. No school today. Some people have work off, in particular government-style jobs, although people who work restaurants and retail typically have to work today anyway, which stinks. What can you do? But in particular, today is usually a day of fun, family, friends, barbecues, and the like. For me, it's going to be a full day of, gameplay. And I want to say, first of all, just thanks to anyone who's here on the pre-stream already. I do appreciate you guys taking time away from all of your fun personal stuff, even though I do realize a lot of you don't live in the United States, and therefore you're not really affected by this holiday. I am pleased that people are swinging by to spend time with me today regardless. Already, I can tell you guys up front, even though today will be a full day of streaming, I fully expect today will be a very slow day. I think that attendance will be way down, and that's okay. That's to be expected on a day when it's a national holiday, and, about half of my viewership, at least, who watch my streams are in the United States. So, I get that, okay? But, for those of you who are available to hang out with me today, we're going to have a fun double stream day. And based on your votes last night, today's first gameplay stream is going to be the continuation of The Simpsons Hit and Run. And I'm going to be honest with you guys, I'm very surprised because I thought the polling would be a lot closer. Just so you know, the choices last night on my Twitter poll were either more of The Simpsons Hit and Run or more of Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered. And I thought, more people would be leaning towards, kind of even voting. But no, it was very, very much a landslide. It was like 78% or 75%, something like that, for The Simpsons. So that's cool. That tells me a couple things. It means, number one, you guys are really digging the playthrough. That's awesome, because I really, really enjoy the game, and I'm very glad that you guys, in particular the patrons, nominated and voted for this game for something for me to play, because it is very interesting. It's basically Grand Theft Auto without the violence. So, Grand Theft Auto with just driving challenges rather than tons of violence, and it's pretty cool in that regard, right? So, pretty awesome. And, right now, I'm in Chapter 5 of 7. People are saying the game has 7 worlds, and I'm in Chapter 5. And it's getting pretty tough. Like, no lie, it's getting very, very challenging to the point where every race is so difficult, I have to do it multiple times. And that's fine. It's definitely going to make the playthrough last longer, and I'm sure it's going to give us all some rage. Okay? But it is what it is. And certainly, you guys, hanging out with me have seemed to really enjoy the playthrough. You guys have been pretty supportive during my streams of Simpsons, and I want to say thank you for that. So we're going to have 4+ more hours of The Simpsons Hit and Run today. Now, later tonight, I will be playing some Street Fighter. I'll be doing Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo, my favorite Street Fighter game. That's kind of cool because it's awesome to basically have a more, for me, even though that game is competitive, it's going to be a more relaxed stream. Quite frankly, I don't really care about winning with that game online because, number one, it's the wrong version. It runs at the wrong speed. And number two, as you guys know, the game has been very hit or miss in the Street Fighter 30th Anniversary Collection. Sometimes the connections are great and sometimes they're god-awful. So, I'm just going to kind of chill tonight and play a couple hours of Super Turbo and just hang out and have fun with you guys, okay? So, it's going to be a fun day. Definitely going to have a fun day with all of you here on stream, okay? Now, tomorrow, since today was The Simpsons, that means tomorrow is going to be Red Faction Guerrilla Remastered, continuing on. That's going to be the main gameplay stream tomorrow. Tomorrow night is up in the air. I'm kind of leaving it open because I didn't know if I was going to finish Half-Life 2 last night, and then I did. So for those of you who didn't know, I completed Half-Life 2 last night. The playthrough is now done, including both the main game and the 2 expansion episodes. I really did enjoy playing that day, and I want to say thank you to everyone who joined me for that. Very nice. It was definitely a cool experience to replay one of these classic games I had never played before. I said replay, I meant to say just play through, because I had never played it before. And I definitely now understand everyone's frame of reference when it comes to the fact that it's very frustrating that the game was so good and they never finished it. You know, they never did the final expansion episode. Really ridiculous, okay? So, that's all done, which means now tomorrow night is kind of a totally open stream. And I'm debating what I should do. I have a few options. Number one, I could do another session of Fighting EX Layer, the new fighting game, okay? Number two, I could do another session of Mario Tennis Aces, although, you know, being realistic here, I'm probably going to do horribly because I haven't played it now for a week, and everyone else has been playing it nonstop, so more than likely, if I play it again, I'm just going to get absolutely destroyed in it. So I don't know how well that would go. Or I could play a session of H1Z1. For those of you who aren't aware, H1Z1 had a patch this week that apparently added new content. I believe there's supposed to be what's called airstrikes now. And I don't know what the hell it is. I don't know, you know, what this is going to add to the game at all. So I'm kind of scratching my head like, should I check this out or not? I don't know. So I have three major options for tomorrow night, and I'm kind of leaving it on the table. I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say about what you would maybe like to see on Thursday night, and go from there. All right, you know, I don't care. I mean, if I play any of those games, I'm sure I'll have an enjoyable time. So really, it's more up to you guys what you want to see more of. Okay. Then on Friday is the return of Persona 5 after a year hiatus. The playthrough finally is resuming this Friday. Major stream, 4+ hours. Okay, and we'll see. We'll see how this goes. Because, again, being away from the game from a year, it's going to take a whole stream, I get the feeling, for me to get back into the swing of things and remember how to play it, you know. There's so much in that game to it. And I'm probably going to have to, you know, really focus in on, gee, you know, do I remember how to play this? Do I remember the different gameplay mechanics? Do I remember the plot? You know what I mean? Like, a lot of the stuff is going to be forgotten in a year, being away from the game. But I'll be coming back to it and trying to resume and remember everything. Friday night also is a stream that's kind of left open at this point. I'm not sure what I want to do Friday night. I mean, at this point, I have many different options. I'm thinking maybe I could do a random PUBG stream. I haven't done PUBG in a million years. Maybe I could do another stream of Street Fighter, a different Street Fighter game. Maybe I could do an impromptu IRL stream. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do this Friday night. But this is cool that I got a couple nights this week that are a little bit free, because it gives me more flexibility to kind of on the fly see what you guys are up to. And, alright, so, well, sorry, I got distracted. Trolls in the stream chat, I had to ban somebody. But anyway, but yeah, you know, I like having that flexibility. I do. I absolutely like that flexibility, okay? Okay. Ow. Sand in my eye, too. A lot of distractions today. Alright, so that's it. So good rest of the week. Hope you guys will come by and, you know, join me for whatever I do. For the fun on stream, okay? Outside of all that, is there anything else really that I'd like to address or talk about? The only thing I would like to address is this. This is actually something very positive, okay? Very, very positive. I want to say thank you guys for making my Twitch stream chat an enjoyable place to be, a place that's fun, a place that we can hang out and feel safe and have a good, positive, non-drama experience on a daily basis. The reason I say this is because recently a few big, high-profile Twitch streamers, much bigger than me, have been basically getting banned or suspended from Twitch because Number one, these guys regularly do stuff on stream as stunts to get attention. You know, they use words that you know you should not be saying on Twitch. They bring up ridiculous, controversial topics and stir up tons of drama in their stream chats. I mean, quite frankly, let's be real here. The reason they do it is because they need to get attention, you know? And that's sad. If you can't hold down a stream that's entertaining enough for the viewers, that you have to constantly be doing dramatic things and bring up controversial topics and saying things you know you're not supposed to be saying just to draw up attention, then there's something wrong with your streaming method. I mean, obviously people were not interested in what you were doing, so you had to do these ridiculous things to get attention, right? And it's sad because there are people who do this all the time, but Twitch is now cracking down on that. Okay, they are. And so what I want to say to you guys, thank you, because you know every day on pre-stream I go through the rules and I explain to you guys how I don't want drama, I don't want negativity, I don't want people coming in here saying ridiculous, controversial things. This is a gameplay stream for us to hang out and have fun and feel safe and have a community, right, where we can come and feel like, wow, this is a place to chill today, right? That's what I want. I don't want it you come in here and you got people doing ridiculous things, saying racist things, saying very insulting things to different people, drawing up controversial opinions and arguing with each other and basically making it a toxic place. I don't want that. And you don't want that. I know that. I know that we want this to be a fun place. And you guys have made it like that, okay? You guys have made it like that because you've basically agreed with the things that the sentiments that I've related, that making this a chill place for gameplay first, you know, and not to say that all conversation is banned. It's not. If you guys want to have serious conversation, you can, but understand it's a place that primarily it's a place to chill and hang out and have fun and not have drama and constant shit and negativity and toxicity. You know, it's funny because I think for a long time Twitch seemed to be the Wild West. It was the place where you could do whatever the hell you want and get away with it. While if you tried to do crap like that, you know, in other places, you get in trouble. Well, now Twitch finally is cracking down on this stuff, and even big-time streamers are getting in trouble for it. So I do want to say thank you guys for that. Thank you for being positive and being awesome in the stream chat. Every day I feel like I can come hang out with you guys and have fun and not have to worry about, oh no, what's the next stupid thing that's going to happen on stream. I don't worry about that because we've had a great time, you know. So there you go. All right, so thank you guys for that. Just wanted to share that positive sentiment with you because it really is a very positive thing. And you know, definitely I should give you guys credit where credit is due when you know, good things are going on, and in that regard I definitely feel like streaming has been going great. Third Eye the Third cheered, and oh, there it is. Okay, I was going to say, because I think my Muxie is a bit slow today. I think my Muxie is a bit slow because you guys are cheering. It's showing up like maybe a minute later. So my apologies if you guys cheer, sub, or tip today, and I don't immediately respond, and it takes a little bit of a delay. It looks like my Muxie is lagging. So, sorry about that. More than likely, it's because it's a holiday, and, you know, I'm sure they probably don't have staff working on the 4th of July and all of that. So, okay. So, outside of all that, guys, I think what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the plugs segment. I'll try to get through it quickly. Then we will jump into shout-outs for those of you who've cheered, subbed, and tipped, and then we'll get ready for The Simpsons. Okay? The Simpsons. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for 10 years of support. This is my 10th anniversary being a content creator for the internet, and I love doing what I do. I did it for 2.5 years without making a dime, and now I've been doing it for 7 years for a living, and I love it. Thank you, thank you, thank you for the 10 years of support. You guys are amazing. The best way, obviously, to support me is to watch my streams and watch my videos on YouTube. As you know, I archive my streams every day over on DSPGaming on YouTube if you can't catch the stream live. But that being said, outside of that, there are several ways that you can contribute if you'd like to go above and beyond just being a standard stream viewer or video watcher and help ensure that I can continue to do this, you know, for full time in the future, okay? And here are those ways. First of all, you can check out my Patreon at patreon.com/DarksidePhil. Your monthly pledges to my Patreon contribute directly to the cost of doing business, but you earn cool stuff for them, all right? For example, if you pledge $5 or more to my Patreon, you're going to get in on events where you nominate and vote on games for ongoing, upcoming events. In particular, this Simpsons Hit and Run I'm playing today was a game that the patrons nominated and voted on to see me play. Now, in addition to that, this month, if we hit my monthly subscriber goal, which we're going to talk about in just a couple minutes here, you'll be nominating and voting on your favorite moments of my 10-year legacy on the internet. what are the best game playthroughs and best moments from those playthroughs, what are some funny vlogs, etc., that you'd like to maybe see me watch and react to on a live special stream called the 10 Years of Rage Anniversary Event. So, that's just one of the many perks you can get by pledging to my Patreon, but as you can see, some pretty cool stuff. If you're interested, please give it a look over at patreon.com/DarksidePhil. Thank you to everyone who already is a ongoing pledgee, and thanks to anyone who considers pledging in the future. Okay. Number 2, you can check out my Teespring merch shop at teespring.com/stores/DSPGaming, where I sell all kinds of custom merch, including t-shirts, sweatshirts, hoodies, stickers, mugs, very fun stuff, high quality stuff. I can attest to that because I've bought some of it over a year ago, and I've owned it for a year, and nothing has faded, nothing has worn out. The mug I use every single day on stream, and the t-shirts I wear frequently. So give it a look. Anything you buy from that shop, I get a commission from. It helps me out, and obviously you get a cool collectible. So please give it a look. But in particular, if you are here live on the stream today, and you would like to contribute, you'd like to jump in and say, man, I want to interact with Phil, I want to get a shout out on the stream because I love what he's doing. There's 3 ways that you could do so. You can either cheer with bits, you can subscribe to my channel, or you could tip me. And if you do any of those 3 things, you'll get a verbal shout out on the stream with a few criteria. Basically, just keep it positive. Please don't be dramatic. Don't bring in negativity. Don't bring in toxicity. We don't do controversial statements and topics that you know I'm not going to address on stream. And in particular, just be respectful for everyone. We want this to be a fun and engaging place where people could come in and chill and enjoy gameplay and not have it be a toxic place like I just mentioned. Some of those other Twitch streamers who get their popularity based on being toxic. That's not who I am, and that's not who I ever want to be. And I'm happy that we're able to do this on a daily basis and not have to deal with that crap, all right? So please keep it positive. In general, most people who try to get verbal shout-outs during my streams get it. You always get a few newcomers or, people trying to stir the crap, as they say. But in general, the streams are very positive and fun, and I love it. So thank you guys for that, okay? Now, if you'd like to go another step beyond, and maybe you'd like to get visual recognition for your contributions, and you'd like to see a cool animation play here on the pre-stream, well, you can either cheer 50 bits or more in one single cheer, or you could subscribe to the channel, wait a few minutes, and then click on the share button that will appear on your screen, or you could tip me $5 or more in one single tip, and if you do that, I will give you a cool animation on the stream as a way to say thanks. Also, you can either do that excuse me, I'm misspeaking here. I've lost my train of thought. Yeah, it's a cool way for you to get visual recognition as it plays that animation, plus verbal recognition, because I'm still going to give you your shout-out, okay? Now, in addition to all of that stuff, as you guys can see, at the top of your screen today, we are going to have the Stream Stats leaderboard. This is a running leaderboard where we have my current total subs, as well as top cheer and top tip. So, if you do cheer or tip today, you have a chance to be the top contributor, and therefore you will get up on that leaderboard live during today's stream, okay? Excuse me. In particular, when it comes to subscriptions this month, first of all, what are the benefits of subscribing to the channel? Number 1, you get access to all of my cool custom emotes that people use all the time in the chat. Number 2, you get the ability to not have to watch ads. I do take ad breaks once or twice every major stream, and you don't have to watch those advertisements if you're subscribed. And number 3, you get a cool Chat Crown loyalty badge, which is pretty neat. So you get all these cool features for subbing. Plus, this month, if we hit 485 subscribers at any point during the course of July, I will be holding the 10 Years of Rage anniversary event, where, as I've already mentioned, people will be nominating and voting on their favorite moments of my 10-year legacy for a stream where I will be watching back those moments live with you guys and reacting to it, and it'll be really cool just for us to all watch that stuff together, okay, and react to the stuff from the past, right? Pretty cool. So please consider subscribing. If you have not, I would appreciate that. Obviously you help me out, and obviously we're pushing towards doing this fun gold event for the month. And I know we can get to it, so let's make it happen, all right? Now, in addition to that, I also mentioned tipping. And you might be saying, well, what is tipping? Because I know I could cheer with bits and I could subscribe to the channel, but I don't know what tipping is. I don't see it here on Twitch. That is correct. Tipping is something that's completely from a third party, all right? It's through PayPal. And the way you can tip is very simple. If you look below my stream right now, you should see a button that says Tips Jar, and if you click on that, it'll take you to my tips page where you can either leave a completely anonymous tip or your name and a message if you'd like to get a shout out during today's stream, okay? Or if you don't see that tips jar button, you could just type in !tip into the stream chat at any time, and our moderation bot will post up a link. If you click on that link, you'll then be taken to the PayPal tips page. The reason that tips are so pertinent, okay? The reason that they're so pertinent is very simple. Those are funds that I get right away. And in particular, early on in the month, I usually rely on tips to help me out when it comes to paying the bills, because all my bills come due within about a week to a week and a half's time. My mortgage, you know, credit card bills, utilities, everything all comes due at once. And so, you know, by tipping me, you're helping me out. In fact, yesterday I received a very, very generous tip. Immediately, I put that right into my bank account to pay bills. So there you go. If you tip me today, it will help me more than anything else, quite frankly. However, I am still appreciative of those who cheer and sub. So thank you, everyone, for all of your contributions, no matter what you do. But in particular, today, if you have a choice and say, gee, you know, I wonder how I should support Phil today because what's the best method? Definitely tipping is the way to go. Okay? Fair enough. All right. Let's go ahead and let's do shout-outs with those who have contributed today via cheer, subs, and tips. Let's do the shout-outs. And then I'm going to start updating, that Stream Stats leaderboard. All right. Okay. So first of all, thank you to those of you who contribute overnight. And when I say that, I mean people who actually think about me and keep me in mind when I'm not even broadcasting. There are those who love my content so much, and maybe they can't necessarily be here for the live broadcast, but they swing by when I'm offline, and they contribute. And I am very appreciative of that. So, in particular, 2 individuals today. We've got Infinite55, who did a 1,000-bit cheer overnight. He said, Phil, sorry I haven't been on stream lately. I've been super busy. Hope you're doing well, and I see you soon. And indeed, Infinite, I have been doing well. And I hope that maybe when you do these overnight cheers that you do listen to pre-streams that I record and upload to YouTube so you know that. I do appreciate your contributions. And it's cool. We all get busy, right? We all get busy from time to time. But hopefully when you do get a chance to swing by, you do, and we have some fun together again, right? So thank you for that cheer. Also, I received an anonymous $10 tip just minutes before I went live today. So I'm not sure who that was, but thank you very much for the anonymous $10 tip. I do appreciate it. All right? Okay. Now it is time to give shout-outs for those who cheered, subbed, or tipped during today's pre-stream. So first of all, shout out to the Lollicop. The Lollicop, who cheered and said, Phil, how's life? Been a while since I was here. Hope life isn't going hard on you. Hope for a positive stream. In particular, things I think have been going well. Quite frankly, you know, for a start to July, it's been pretty good, considering the fact that there are no new games this month besides Octopath Traveler, which I won't even be playing as a new release because I'm going to be playing Persona 5. So being that this month is historically, this month is the month of no new releases. July is the deadest month of the year, every single year when it comes to new release video games. You know, 4 days in, so far so good. People are enjoying the stuff I'm doing, which is great. And I hope that we can keep that up for the rest of the month, right? I don't want to have a dry patch here right in the middle of the summer, things die out. Instead, just the opposite. I hope that I can keep you guys entertained on a daily basis, okay? All right. Now, the Lollipop cheered again and said, I liked your Persona 5 playthrough. Can't wait for you to play it again, but wondering about the people who didn't catch up. It's more than 300 parts. Do you have a suggestion on how they can get caught up? I mean, quite frankly, even me, you know, remember, I'm the one who played those 300 parts. And it's going to be hard even for me. I know going on hiatus for a year sucks. It's terrible. I didn't want to have to do it. The whole situation here, for those who don't know the situation, was that I was playing Persona 5 when it was a brand new release last year. And I was fully abiding by the guidelines that Atlas USA had put out on the internet publicly and said, as long as you abide by these guidelines in your playthrough and don't go past certain in-game dates, you know, in a certain time frame, you'll be fine. I abided completely by what they said, and I still received a copyright strike from Atlas Japan. And when I contacted Atlas USA and said, what the hell gives here? I did everything you said. They said, we have no idea. It seems like Atlas Japan is out of touch with what we were told, and they don't know what they're doing. So please be patient. And they were. And then within about a week, I got the copyright strike cleared up. But at that point, I was basically told, you know, we have no control over what they do over there. And I just kind of shrugged, and I'm like, that's ridiculous because, you know, DSPGaming, even though it's an archive channel for me, right? It just archives my live streams. it's still a very important piece of my business model, and it's still a big chunk of my income. And if this were to shut down because of copyright strikes, I'd be screwed. And I can't put my channel at risk simply because a company doesn't understand their own culture, doesn't even understand their own guidelines that they set out. It doesn't even make sense, right? So at that point, I had to put the playthrough on hold. There was nothing I could do about it. And now here we are a year later. Basically, everyone who wanted to play the game already has. There's ridiculous amounts of full playthroughs of this game up on the internet. So at this point, I'm pretty sure I'm in the clear. I don't think anything negative is going to happen. I don't think Atlas Japan gives a shit about playing an over a year-old game now. So I'm coming back to it. And I really loved playing Persona 5 last year, but you're absolutely right in saying, geez, you know, you were 80 hours into the game. I know, it sucks, because when you're so far invested into a game, you're loving it, and now you've been away from it for a year, it's going to be a daunting task. It really is. To jump back into this game and try to get into it. And I just want to apologize in advance to anyone, because I can tell you right now, Friday's going to be a rough stream where I'm basically going to be trying to remember everything, okay, and, you know, get back in line with what's in the game and remember the gameplay mechanics and all of that. And it's probably more than likely not going to be a very smooth stream. I almost think that it's going to be a stream where I flub around a lot and I screw stuff up, and I may have to redo stuff. You know, because if you remember, Persona 5 is all about time management. You know, there's a limited amount of days in the game. It's not like an unlimited amount of time like you have in other RPGs. So, you know, if we're in a situation where I'm wasting days because I don't know what the hell I'm doing, you know, because I haven't played the game in so long, I might have to replay certain parts of the game, or maybe play like for an hour just to remember shit, and then reload my save and go back and and try again. So we'll see how it goes. All right. So we'll see how it goes. But I'm very nervous about this, you know, resuming on Friday. But what I'm hoping is that you guys will be supportive. You'll come by and hang out with me, and we'll have a smooth transition for the return of Persona 5. Okay. As for you guys getting caught up, I don't know what to tell you. Like, I realized that the Persona 5 playthrough was on hold and basically set to private for a very long time. At the same time, I made it public over a month ago, so you've had over a month to watch the previous videos and get caught up, and if you haven't done so, I'm not sure what to tell you. You know, you don't even have enough time. Like, for example, between now and the premiere of the stream on Friday, that's 48 hours, and the playthrough's 80, so even if you started now, you would not be able to watch the whole playthrough. You just wouldn't be able to. Okay? So, alright, that being said, guys, I am looking forward to Friday. Okay? Alright, ISD Captain cheered. He said, Happy Independence Day. Keep up the hard work. Screw the people with thin skins that can't take a slight jabber joke. True Sand cheered and asked, does Kat have work today? She's already at work. Yeah. And, you know, it sucks sometimes when you have a job that makes you go in on a day when everyone else, you know, has off, and you get stuck as the person who has to go in. What can you do? But I used to be in that situation too. I actually, this is a true story. I used to be the guy who, I lived so close to my previous job. Remember when I used to work at that helicopter company? I lived so close to the office that I was the guy that they kind of relied on to go in during holidays to just make sure the house hadn't burned down. They did have a guy who was the guy who basically worked full-time on all holidays because he got paid, you know, basically like double pay. But I was the guy who would be like, okay, I go in and I help him out because I lived so close to my work. I actually lived only a couple blocks away, like a 2-3 minute drive. And sometimes you get stuck with that, you know? What can you do? You just gotta shrug. It sucks. Sometimes these holidays you get stuck, right? Nothing you can do about it. And, you know, a lot of people don't have to work today, but you know what? A lot of people do have to work today, and it is what it is. Hey, money is money. One thing I'd say, money is money. Yeah, you work today, but a lot of people get paid time and a half and whatever, which is great. So at least there's a positive coming out of it, even if you have to, you know, work on a day when you don't want to. Hopefully you get something good out of it. So I will say this: shout out to anyone out there who has to work today in the United States. I know it sucks, but I've been there. I mean, now my job is gaming, which is awesome. But back in the day, you know, many jobs that I had to work on holidays. And I know it's not fun, but hopefully you're at least getting something positive out of it, okay? All right, Obi-Wan Kenobi says, is Kat making anything special today? Well, no. Since we're both working today, it's not like we could do any kind of a barbecue or anything like that. Plus, I don't have a grill, so it'll be kind of hard to barbecue when I don't have a grill. So no, really nothing special today. In fact, we're gonna have salad. Everyone else is doing cookouts with like ribs and chicken and steaks and burgers and hot dogs. We're gonna have a chicken Caesar salad for dinner. So there you go. The lollipop cheered again, and he says the following. He says, hold on a second, I gotta get rid of a troll. There he is, he's gone. Someone else took care of it for me, thank you. Alright, the lollipop just cheered. He said, Phil, you're going to love this story about the fighting game community. One guy who's good at Dragon Ball FighterZ fought against a guy who's a pro. The guy who was good had legit complaints about the game. Everyone called him the DSP of Dragon Ball. Yeah, I know. Isn't it funny how now in the fighting game community, if anyone actually has any kind of legit criticisms for a game, they're now called the DSP? Because here it is. Here's the truth. Alright. Unlike most of the people who are fighting game community players, alright, I'm not a part of their very, and I hate to say it, very inclusive community. They are a very inclusive community, almost to the point where they can become like a cult sometimes. Oh, you must love all fighting games. Oh, you must kiss the butt of every high-profile fighting game and get hype on every stream. And how dare you actually have legit criticisms against something that everyone says is a great game and is hype. And I see this all the time, that games like Street Fighter V, which are not very good, alright, get the most hype, get the most views, get the most popularity, and God forbid you say something negative about it. That means that you're a troll or whatever, right? Now, for me, the reason that it's easy for them to say, oh, you're the DSP of this game, is because I'm not a part of their inclusive community, okay? I'm not. I'm not a part of their inclusive community. So, for me, I can easily play these games, which I do. As you guys know, I cover all fighting games. I just don't play them as in-depth as a lot of these guys. And I can legitimately criticize them, being someone who's played fighting games since 1991. I have a lot of a hands-on experience with fighting games, alright? And I have legit criticisms of a lot of games. But it's funny because a lot of people at first will immediately have a backlash against me, but then later on start agreeing with me. I mean, the perfect example of that is Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite. This was a game that at launch, I said, man, this game is not very viable as a competitive game. It just has a lot of problems, and within, 6 months, the game's dead. No one plays it anymore. But at launch, everyone gave me shit for calling out these criticisms, and then next thing you know, people agree with me, okay? And this happens with every fighting game now. It really does. Like, if I dare, how dare I, because I'm not part of the inclusive fighting game community, and I don't go to tournaments, right? And I don't kiss the butt of top streamers and top players and kiss the butt of these game companies who make fighters. How dare I ever say something critical about a fighting game? So, to me, it sounds like this is the way for them to dismiss valid criticism. Oh, you're the DSP of whatever. Well, fine, you do that. You make me your stigma, your stereotype, and you continue to pull the wool over your eyes and everyone else's eyes and play bad games. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm not a person who is at the slavery. It really is. It's like you're a slave of the new release fighting game. You have to, even if the game's not good, you have to play it and constantly stream it and talk about it, because this is what brings in views and money for you, because you're a part of the fighting game community. That's all you do. Well, that's the pigeonhole you put yourself in. That was your active choice, and that's your fault. So now you're mad because someone like me doesn't have to do that. I can play Simpsons Hit and Run. I can play a wide variety of games, and every once in a while I could go back to fighters and still enjoy them and not have to kiss the game's butt and play it constantly, even if I don't like it. Well, that's because I made a very different decision than you. So maybe you should stop it with your sour grapes and calling me insulting terms, and instead look in the mirror and realize you're the one who did this to yourself. And maybe if you were just honest with yourself, instead of kissing fighting games butt all the time, you wouldn't be so miserable. There you go. Alright. Alright, let's continue on. Just Gamer John wanted to know who were Twitch streamers that got banned. I'm not going to get into that. In fact, I don't even know, like, a couple of them that I heard about, I don't even know who they are, because I don't watch Twitch streams. So I'm certainly not going to bring that up, because if you're bringing up name dropping and stuff, it's going to cause drama, and I'm not going to do that. Alright. But thank you for the cheer. Third Eye the Third cheered. He says, I feel safe in the chat 99% of the time. The other time is when I read something from JP, laughing out loud, so he's making a joke on JP's expense. The Lollipop cheered. He says, it's funny because some guy keeps saying a racist word. I like how they keep attacking fans who like your content. If they have depression, we need to help them, to be honest. Yeah, sadly, there are people, for example, if you cheer or if you contribute to the stream, that people will message you and start attacking you and saying stupid stuff. It's terrible, I know, and I apologize for it, but, obviously there's things, again, ways around that. I've turned off my private messages on Twitch to prevent people from harassing me, and I haven't used them in years, and I've literally not had a single day where I've missed anything, so I don't think that there needs to be a private direct messaging system on Twitch to begin with. We all have other ways to be contacted anyway. You can report these people to Twitch, etc., so apologies, but, there's ways around that crap. Jimbo Slice cheered. He says, the great American Joey Chestnut set a world record by eating 74 hot dogs today. That's disgusting. That's absolutely disgusting. Hardy Buck cheered. He said, Phil, could you summarize the 4th of July? I'm not American. I mean, I wasn't there, so I can't actually tell you what happened, but apparently, from what I was taught back in the day in school, was that at one point, the United States was not the United States. It was the colonies, the 13 colonies of Britain or the UK, and we were basically kind of, think of it, when you think of a company, you think there's the parent company and there's subsidiaries, right? Spin-off companies. So the colonies were a spin-off company of England, and we were supposed to be bringing in resources and money from North America to England. But eventually, the people who lived here apparently felt like they were being very unfairly treated, that there were laws and tariffs and things in effect that were not economically fair for the amount of work that they were putting in, and they were like, why are we being basically treated like the redheaded stepchild of England? And so they revolted and said, no, we want to be our own sovereign place, and screw you, and there was a war, and yada, yada, yada. They won their independence from England. I guess England finally threw in the towels and screw it, ain't even worth it. We got to cut our losses at this point, so screw them. And so it became the United States of America. There you go. There's the shortest summary possible. The absolute shortest summary possible, and it's probably completely historically inaccurate as well. So there you go. Okay. Shout out to Jay Bowler. Jay Bowler did a 100-bit cheer, and by the way, Jay Bowler, that is the top cheer for today. So you are going to now become the top cheerer on the leaderboard. Let's get Jay Bowler on there. 100-bit cheer. Thank you, Jay Bowler. And Jay Bowler says, hold on, let me get this centered. He said the following. He said, it's going to be a slow month. All the good stuff isn't out till October. Yeah, I mean, just to give you guys some perspective. In July, literally the only new release that's on my radar is Octopath Traveler, which I'm looking to start once I finish Persona 5. In August, we've got We Happy Few, the first episode of The Walking Dead's final season, Shenmue 1 and 2 Collection, and then Fire Pro Wrestling. And that's really it. That's the whole month of August. Okay? September, finally, for me, things are going to start to pick up. You got games like Dragon Quest XI, Spider-Man, maybe Tomb Raider. I'm not sure if I'm going to play it yet. The Spyro Collection and Code Vein. So right there, you got a lot of high-profile games that I'm going to be looking into and playing. But you're right. I mean, what can you do? The summer still remains the deadest time of the year for games, and I'll be doing my best to entertain you guys with, retro throwback playthroughs and special events and the like. But it is what it is, right? Third Eye the Third cheered. He says, even though Atlas copyright strike sucked, it was a great day to be on stream because how many came out to support you? Yeah, I must say this. It seems like whenever I am faced with a great adversity, false copyright strike, channel gets taken down or suspended for bullshit reasons. Many things have happened to me over the years. People come out to support, and that's awesome. Like I said, I've told you guys, even though I do see myself as a self-made man, as you know, I never really got any mainstream sponsorship. I never got anyone giving me shout-outs or wanting to do cross-promotion with me or anything like that. I really do feel my success is based on you guys coming out and always being supportive during these times. I do still feel to this day like the ultimate underdog. Back in the day, I was Joe Nobody on YouTube. I was just a guy playing games, having fun. And you guys supported me when I lost my job and allowed me to turn this into what I do for a living. Then to some extent, I became kind of the black sheep of YouTube because of the way that I did things. The methodologies I had were very, very different from those who wanted to be YouTube famous and make a living on YouTube. And people basically turned me into a negative thing, a negative toxic meme. But now here I am still surviving. And after a year after the YouTube adpocalypse, I'm putting out fun daily gameplay streams that are very different than what I used to do. And again, I feel like the ultimate underdog. I'm still here and I'm still fighting my way up, right, from the bottom. And I'm just happy to be able to do what I love for a living. So thank you guys for that. All right, Jay Bowler just did another 100-bit cheer. He said, happy 4th to the Phil and to chat. Thank you very much for that. And yes, happy 4th of July to everybody. Timbo Slice cheered. He says, a lot of retail workers don't work today. Most companies gift full-time people in retail this holiday a paid holiday. I'm off. Timbo, I don't know where you are, but that's not my experience. When I, worked retail, 4th of July very much was a day when most stores were open, and in particular restaurants as well. They may close earlier than usual, but they're definitely open. Like, right now, I tell you, you go to the mall, you go anywhere, most of the stores are open. A lot of them are doing 4th of July sales, which I think is ridiculous because I remember traditionally when I worked retail, this was not a busy day. Like, this was actually a slower day. Most people are going to be spending time with friends and relatives, cooking out and doing stuff outdoors. Why on earth are they going to go shopping, right? But regardless, retail stays open. I don't know why. So I just kind of shrug. Meh. Okay. Lipjan cheered. He says, I expected a vlog for the 4th. I miss those. You used to do that. Why would I do a vlog when I do pre-streams now? This is what I'm telling you guys. Like, things have basically evolved to the point where every day I talk with you guys before I even get to my gameplay. So pretty much every day I do a vlog, right? This is just a pre-stream is the vlog. And that's what people need to realize when they complain, oh, but pre-streams are long. Yeah, but pre-stream is me interacting with you guys for a good hour. And people want interaction, so what's the problem, right? It seems to me the people who are only angry about pre-streams is the people who are here only to see raw gameplay. That's it. And I get that, but understand that's not what this stream is. This stream is an interactive, fun stream, and that's what my content has become. And you just got to move on and listen. Change sometimes can be hard to get used to, but I've been doing this for over a year. Time to wake up, okay? All right. Russian Love Machine. Wow. The Russian Love Machine did a 95-bit cheer. It says, Phil, are you going to do the Elder Scrolls Marathon someday? Now that Todd revealed Elder Scrolls 6, probably going to release in a year or 3. Maybe you'll have time in your schedule for Oblivion or Morrowind. No. I doubt I'm ever doing an Elder Scrolls Marathon. Those games are way too long. If I did, let's say I did Morrowind and Oblivion back to back, that would be like 2 months, if not longer. Like, there's no way I could do that. Would I ever go back and eventually play those games? Maybe, but no one seems to be clamoring for them. Like I've said in the past, maybe if, Elder Scrolls 6 finally had more information. Oh, it's coming out in 2022, right? Then maybe in 2021, I would play through one of those games, but there's no reason for me to do it right now. Okay? Alrighty. Let's continue on. Hold on, I'm getting lost here. I got lost in the cheers. By the way, I just want to say something. I just banned someone from Stream Chat, and you may be wondering why. The reason I banned it is because the name this person is using is the name of an infamous Nazi. And this was brought to my attention by someone who apparently knew a little bit about history and said, Phil, you're aware that someone's been cheering in your Stream Chat is using the name of a really nasty Nazi who was one of the worst people ever. And I was like, no, of course I didn't know that. So now I know, and that person is now permanently banned. You can't do that kind of stuff. All right? You just can't. So there you go. That's why I just banned someone, and if people are questioning why did that guy get banned, that's why. All right. Shout out to YOLO Dopper, who cheers. And Phil, I know you don't like to work on the 4th, but thanks for all the hard work and keeping us entertained even on holidays. Big salutes to you, sir. Listen, it's not so hard. You don't have to give me so much credit because I love my job, It'd be one thing if I hated my job and I have to come to work and grind it out. I like doing this. I like hanging out with you guys. I like playing games and having fun. And even when I'm playing a more difficult game that's challenging and, I rage a bit, I still enjoy myself, all right? So what I should really say is thank you guys for your support and allowing me to have fun on streams daily and enjoy myself because I love what I do. That's kind of the cool trade-off. With all the negativity, all the nasty stuff that gets thrown my way, and all the shit that's happened to me over the years, I love my job anyway, on top of that. So it's like, it's kind of a trade, right? Okay. Let's continue. Shout out to The Last Rambo, who says, well, Phil, people dismiss Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite because of its presentation and development. The consensus among players that the gameplay is the best. Well, I completely disagree with that sentiment. I think the gameplay is the worst. And the bottom line is, if that were really the truth, all right, if that were really the truth, I don't think the game would have died the way it did. I think that at the core of it, what people realized is that flashy, crappy one hit into ridiculous damage, it's just a high-low mix-up game, nothing else to it. It had its time in the sun, with Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and Ultimate Marvel 3, and people eventually figured it out that the game was not going to be able to retain anything. You know, if anything, Marvel vs. Capcom 3, the gameplay was flashy, but it was very, very repetitive and boring for someone. If you're playing the game, it's not very fun. Real talk. And I'm a fan of the original Versus series, and Marvel vs. Capcom 2 is one of my favorite fighting games of all time. Marvel 3 was not a fun game to me. I did not like the game at all, okay? But they had a nice art style, a flashy presentation, and overall the aesthetics were pleasing, so you kind of forgave the bad gameplay because the game looked flashy and was a stream monster game. I think Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, what ended up happening was all those flaws of the game engine were exposed because you didn't have a big, nice-looking, flashy presentation. The game basically looked low budget, and because of that, it was exposed for, wow, you know, if the game's gameplay was good enough, it would have succeeded. But if anything, what it proved is that the reason Marvel 3 was successful was not the gameplay, it was the flashy presentation, and since Marvel Infinite didn't have that, it failed, right? So there you go. And I'm sorry, that's my opinion, being a pro gamer and being someone who's played fighting games since 1991, played every single major Versus game. I'm sorry, that's the truth of the matter, in my opinion, from my perspective. You can disagree, but I think the game was shit at its core. Because again, I don't care if the game's made with fucking stick figures. If the gameplay is great, it's still going to get some popularity. I mean, take a look at certain games. I mean, Skullgirls. That's a game that's very diverse because of its art style. But the game had really great gameplay and had a hardcore fan base, and the game survived. Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, that stars Marvel fucking characters, the biggest movie characters ever right now, can't survive more than 6 months. That's horseshit. See what I mean? That just proves that at its core it's a bad game. Okay. Shout out to Jay Kramer, who cheered. He says, it was the Revolutionary War, Filbert. Yes, that's correct. Yes. Hardy Buck cheered. He says, when you finally get around to seeing Avengers Infinity War, let us know your thoughts. I loved your mini review of the Star Wars, the shitty one. Well, I probably won't see Infinity War until it is available as, you know, free on demand. If it ends up as Amazon Prime or Netflix, I'll watch it. Outside of that, I doubt I'm going to be paying to see it. So there you go. I mean, that's the reason I just saw Star Wars The Last Jedi, because it went up on Netflix. So, Just Gamer John cheered. He said, when did the War of 1812 take place, Phil? Most people don't know this. The War of 1812 actually took place in 40 million BC. Yes. Anyway, Timbo Slice cheered. He said, what is your view on Nintendo making a $20 a year online service just like Xbox Live? Seems like Nintendo is doing everything possible to stay afloat. If anything, guys, I hate to say this, I think Timbo has a point here. The reason being is that Nintendo has had online play in all of their previous consoles. Like, the Wii and the Wii U had full online play, and hell, the Switch now has online play, and they're not charging for it. So it's obvious Nintendo can do this. But Nintendo sees a free revenue stream, right? Oh my god. Well, if every other major console does it, we could do it too. Why are we throwing away free money, right? Nintendo needs to get revenue where they can. Because even though you guys seem to still buy into the PR and the hoopla, I hate to tell you guys, Nintendo is not the company they once were. And even though they sold a ridiculous amount of Switches, they didn't make any profit on it. Alright? What they need to do is sell software, and they're not doing it. They're not. You know, selling 2-3 major AAA games a year that are first-party games does not fucking make you a successful game maker. And they're looking for ways to make profit, and this is one of them. You know, claiming every single YouTube video that has Nintendo in it is one of them. These are just cheap ways for Nintendo to make a quick buck, and they're taking every possible opportunity. Are you going to get any extra benefits from paying $20 a month besides the few digital games that Nintendo is claiming they're going to give you for free that probably no one cares about anyway? No. It's the same online service. They're not going to improve the quality. It's going to be the same exact thing, only now they're taking your money for it. So it's like, you know, oh well. You know, once again, the fanboys will pull the wool over their eyes and say it's something great. In my opinion, it is just a cash grab. Okay. Implorative Furry says, why are you streaming today? Well, I'm streaming today because, number one, Kat has to work. So she's not home. Number two, because I love gaming. And so if I'm going to be home all day, I might as well be gaming, right? Duh. All right. Shout out to Russian Love Machine, who did a 245-bit cheer. And you are now the top cheerer for the day. So let me go ahead and get you up on the leaderboard. Thank you very much, Russian Love Machine. Okay. You are now up on the leaderboard. Very nice. And Russian Love Machine says the following. He says, here you go, Phil. Also, now that you mentioned Fire Pro Wrestling, are you going to do a throwback SmackDown versus Raw games from WWE like 06 or 07? Considering you're a huge wrestling fan, it would be fun to watch you react to these hilariously bad stories the developers made. I mean, do people really want to see me play 10-year-old wrestling games? Maybe 0.001% of my viewer base would like that, but I don't think that's something that I have mass appeal. In fact, you know, I rarely do I even talk about wrestling anymore. It's not like back in the day when I had a pro wrestling commentary show and everything. You know, wrestling is very much not really a part of my content anymore. And, you know, yeah, every once in a while, once a year, I'll play the WWE game, or in particular this year, I'm going to try the Fire Pro Wrestling game. But I don't think that playing old games like that is really going to have much attention. You know what I mean? I got to go with what my viewers want. And, you know, if there was a clamor for me to do that stuff, I would do it. You're literally the first person who's ever asked me for it. So, chances are, it ain't going to happen. Okay? Hardy Buck cheered, and he says, it's the 4th of July, the day of forgiving, give John Rambo a call. What I like is that you still think that it has something to do with me. I was the one who was always contacting Rambo. I was the one who was ignored. It wasn't like, oh, he was trying to talk to me and I was being a jerk about it. He was the one who ignored me. Yet people still act like it's the opposite. I need to reach out to him. That's what I was doing. That's literally what I was doing. I was reaching out to him and being ignored. Why would I reach out to him again? The ball has always been in his court. Always. And he just freaking acts like it's on me. I was always the one who reached out and did everything. And I was the one who was ignored and mistreated. Yet I'm the villain somehow. So whatever. You know? And it's years now we haven't talked. And, you know, the way that I feel, and I've told you guys this before, I honestly feel the truth of the situation is that, you know, when John was involved in my content, he was a great guy. He was always ready to contribute. He drove out a lot. You know, he drove a long way to get out here to do, I say out here, to get out to Connecticut to do co-op with me every week. And he was a great friend. But what I really feel is that when I moved, he saw it as kind of a betrayal because he thought that this was something that we had built together. And the fact that I was moving across the country for my own personal benefit was kind of like a betrayal to him. And in addition to that, I think that he felt that at that point, the amount of stress that he had to deal with, because what you guys got to remember, I've talked about this before, all right, is that there was a tremendous amount of pressure on him because he got a lot of the flack and the attention, but also the negativity that I got just for being on the internet. Keep in mind, you know, it evolved from some place where I was one of the biggest, most popular, most positive YouTubers to people hating on my guts for years, and now he was involved in that, so he was constantly getting wrangled into that shit, right? And yet he didn't deserve that, and I totally agree there. And I think what happened is when I moved, he saw this was an opportunity now where he was going to make a decision. Am I going to focus on my own stuff and just do my own thing and separate myself from that toxicity that sadly has become being associated with Phil? Or am I going to keep doing what we've been doing and kind of put up with it? And I think he realized in his own mind, his personal decision, which I respect, all right, is that to sever the relationship was the best thing to do so that he wouldn't have to be attacked anymore. And he wouldn't have to basically be feeling that toxic shit anymore, okay? And the thing is, I completely and utterly respect that decision. And if John had told me that, I would have been okay with it. But he never did. Instead, he just ignored me. And that's not the way to deal with stuff in life. You know, it's called passive aggressivism, is when you don't actively respect someone enough to tell them the truth about a situation. And instead, you just ignore it, and then it blows up. And that's literally what happened, is for about a year, I was asking him, what's going on? Are you okay? Do you want to do anything? Do you want to go back and do Smart Guys or whatever? And he would just ignore my messages. Or he would respond later and just say, give me a BS answer like, oh, I'm still too busy. We'll maybe do it later. Instead of just being honest with me, you know? And now here we are, what, 3 years later? Do you really think 3 years later I have any desire to reach out to someone who obviously did not respect me enough to be honest with me back then, literally made stuff up about me on the internet in a video, and now still in, you know, how many years has not reached out to me? Why would I care? And that's it. The past is the past. And I don't care about that stuff anymore, which is why I don't bring it up. You know, it's time to move on, guys. It really is. It's time to move on and stop acting like things that happened in the past are going to be changed or fixed. The bottom line is, as I've said this before, and I'll bring it up for you guys again. You know, John Rambo was a part of my content from 2010 until mid-2014. So roughly, I would say, you know, 3.5 years. I've now lived in Washington State for over 4 years. I have been doing content solo longer than I did content co-op with John. It's time to wake up and move on, guys, and stop dwelling on the past. Seriously. It's time to stop bringing this shit up, because it doesn't get anything done, and all it does is it brings up, you know, feelings about, man, it sucks that things fell apart, right? That's life. That's adult life. You got to realize that sometimes this shit happens, and it's not necessarily anyone's fault. Shit happens, and you just move on from it, and I'm not going to dwell on that shit anymore, okay? All right. Shout out to Timbo Slices. I would love to see you play Madden 19. The game's making its biggest leap in graphics and gameplay since the 360 days this year. Been a couple years since we saw you do MLB The Show, and my player needs to return. Well, I don't know. I mean, first of all, I don't even know. I don't even know when the sports games are coming out this year. I don't follow them. As you guys know, I don't follow the sports games at all. And I don't know much about them. I don't know their release dates. I don't know anything. And so if people are interested in seeing me play the sports games or whatever, okay, then what you should do, is let me know. You know, say, Phil, Madden's coming out next week. Are you going to play? You know, get me involved, get me excited for it, or get me engaged to know. Because if I don't know something's coming out, I don't get too excited for it. And in general, your guys' feedback a lot of the times gets me to play stuff that normally I wouldn't. And I fully agree. I have not played a sports game in a very long time, but I don't know in particular what games you would like to maybe see me play. Derek is saying that Madden comes out August 9th. So did Timbo. They both said it comes out August 9th. Maybe that's something I should do in August. If you guys are interested, let me know. Give me your feedback. I'm down. I'm down to absorb your feedback and let me know what you guys want to see me play. Okay? Okay. RFHC5 cheers. Will you ever play Danganronpa 3? Probably. I get the feeling eventually it's going to happen. The reason that I did not ever play it last year was because, number one, I played Danganronpa 1 and 2 within the same year, which literally killed my voice. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. I had to do so much reading during those playthroughs that my voice became incredibly hoarse for the good part of 6 to 8 months. And it wasn't until just recently, I'd say probably the past 2 months, that my voice stopped feeling so crappy. And I've been able, I actually got my voice back, like I go, woo! I can actually do high-pitched stuff again. Remember? It was a good 8 months, I couldn't even do that. My throat was all fucked up. So finally it healed, which is good. So would I consider doing it? Yes. Am I going to do it anytime soon? I doubt it. I don't think there's any real desire or reason to see me do Danganronpa V3 right away. Keep in mind, the game is incredibly long, and it is for a niche audience. It's not like you're going to get mainstream views or anything when I play that game either. So, but eventually I get the feeling I am going to play it. You know, I think people are eventually going to want to see it, and eventually I am going to play it. Okay? All right. Just Gamer John says, not to be negative, Nintendo made $1.62 billion in operating profit for the year, a massive 505% increase on the previous 12 months, revenue increased, blah, blah, blah. All right, so let's cite numbers that don't mean anything. Because what you don't realize when you read all that shit is that numbers are released for a reason. Yes, Nintendo had a good year last year. Because last year, Nintendo had a bunch of really huge first-party titles that got people out buying the Switch. If you remember, last year, Nintendo created artificial demand for the Switch by purposely not manufacturing or shipping enough units to satiate the initial launch demand of their console. No other company does this. Microsoft, Sony, they make enough consoles to satiate demand. Nintendo does not. They create artificial demand so that people get hype about something. And then, by the way, if you guys didn't know, this year, if you go to the store, you can buy a Switch at any store. They're on every shelf overstocked. And a lot of Nintendo's initiatives this year have flopped huge. The Nintendo Labo, huge failure. Go to any store, you'll see boxes upon boxes of these things on the shelves. No one bought the stupid thing, and Nintendo drastically overproduced it. It's been reported that worldwide, Nintendo, I think, only sold, I think it was 20 to 30% of their stock of what they actually manufactured. No one wants it. And this is what happens with Nintendo, is that they have these years of plenty because of the way they're very savvy with their marketing, right? They do these launches, they do these things to create consumer demand, and then once that demand is satiated, now what do? And this is what's happening this year. How many high-profile Nintendo games out there have really sold? So that's what I mean. And by the way, you're citing operating profit. That is not the same as net profit. See, I know because I went to school for this. What you're citing is just a number. It's not a big picture view. So, yeah, Nintendo had a great year last year. They've had a bunch of profit. But the question is, in the big picture, right, are they now going to have years where it's not so great? And now they have to live off of that giant profit that they made for several years because they have nothing to sell. You know, most people who wanted a Switch have one now. So what are you selling when there's no games? I'm just saying. That's my perspective. Okay? All right. Washington Sasquatch cheered and said, can you ban these booty emotes? They're very lewd and my mom will get mad if she sees them in the chat. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't have any booty emotes, and I don't have the ability to stop people from using emotes from other channels. Obviously, if those emotes are on Twitch, they've been approved by Twitch and must be okay. So all I have to say there is, meh, I don't really know. I don't see the issue. Okay? Jay Kramer says, you know, Phil, it's always been your word against John's word, and unless there's physical proof of anything, it's bullshit from both of you. And you know what, Jay Kramer? You're right. You're absolutely 100% correct. What I say is just what I'm saying from my perspective, and what John has said is from his perspective, right? And it could be complete bullshit on both sides. It could be that one of us is telling the truth. It could be that we're each telling half-truths. And there's no way that any of you guys on the internet would ever know. So that's why I don't know why people keep bringing it up. Quite frankly, like I said, 3 years, I'm tired of talking about it. Like I said, it's time for us to all just move on and realize that what it is what it is. And stop dwelling on this past. Again, I've been doing solo content in Washington State longer than I ever did co-op with John, yet people still bring it up like it's something that happened yesterday. It's time to grow up and move on and say things have changed and stop bringing it up, okay? All right, there was another cheer I just saw in the stream chat, but it didn't show up in my Muxie yet. Like I said, my Muxie's like at least a minute delayed today. Well, at this point, guys, all right, at this point, let me go ahead and do a top 10 of the biggest cheerers of the week as a thank you. And then once this cheer finally appears, I will respond to it. So thank you to the top 10 cheerers for this week. In 10th place, we've got Johnnysaurus Rex. In 9th place, we've got Third Eye the Third. In 8th place, Russian Love Machine. In 7th place, oh, actually, I take it back, a tie for 7th place between Jay Bowler and Steeman Grumpy. In 5th place, we've got Ultimate Boss. In 4th, it's Infinite 55. In 3rd place, Ost Mink. In 2nd place, The Lord Lamb V3. And sitting at 1st with that ginormous cheer that he did yesterday. And I'm pretty sure it's probably the biggest cheer ever. I'm not 100%, but I'm pretty sure it's either 1st or 2nd biggest. Emperor Wagons. Thank you guys very much for your contributions. Oh, one more. We got another cheer from Russian Love Machine. He says, what's your thought about furries? I really don't have thoughts about furries. I personally am not one. And I'm not against it. I'm not for it. I'm completely kind of neutral and oblivious to it. The way I see it, as long as it doesn't hurt people, to each their own. As I've said many times, everyone has a right to be happy, and if that's what floats your boat, go for it, I guess. All right. All right. That is it, guys. It's time to end the pre-stream. One thing I will say, thank you, obviously, to Russian Love Machine for the top cheer. Actually, I should check the sub count, too. Because I didn't check it at all during the pre-stream. And we are... Huh? What the... Guys, I'm incredibly confused. It's telling me the sub count is 443, yet we didn't have a single new sub during the pre-stream. Huh? Now, I'm really confused. How did the subs go up so much when it didn't tell me once that there was a new sub? I'm scratching my head. What about you guys? Everyone's confused. You're all as confused as I am. Maybe sub count's wrong. I don't know how we got 10 subs when I didn't get a single notification that we got new subs. I'll just shrug and say, okay, I hope it's true, because that's good news. But that's kind of weird. I don't know. Okay, shout out to PS Geek, who cheered. He says, hi, DSP, happy 4th of July. Want to hear old and corny joke. Sony and Microsoft are having a fight. Call an ambulance. Wii U, Wii U, Wii U. Wow, that was an old and corny joke. Okay, then. So anyway, thanks for your support. We don't have any tips yet today. I do want to remind everyone, tipping is the best way to support me today because of all my bills clearing. It helps me out. Tips I can put right towards the bills. So anyone who does tip, you'll get right up there on the leaderboard, okay? Since there's no tipper so far today. And thanks again to Russian Love Machine for your contribution. And apparently thanks to the people who sub behind the scenes, because I don't know anything about it, but apparently I got a bunch of new subs. Haha. Oh my god, Lavrent Iberia 1. Oh my god, I cannot pronounce your name. Lavrent Iberia 1 just did a 50-bit cheer and said bugged subbing mechanics. Huh. Alright, anyway. Thank you guys. It's now time to start with The Sims Hit and Run. About 4 hours of gameplay today. And we'll see how tough it gets. It's been getting more and more challenging. I get the feeling it's going to get really rough. Okay? Alright, here we go. We resume with Apu. Apu! Woo! What up, Squishy? Apu will drive you downtown, yes. Okay, let's resume.